Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here this Thursday, April 6th, 2023. We're going to get started. The first thing we're going to look at here is dozens of rockets pound Israel from Lebanon in the most serious escalation of the war since 2006. So, look at the picture here. Smoke rising on the streets, and boy, that's a lot of black smoke. Anyway, that's one of the things that's going on. We got a lot more going on today, so we're going to cover it fairly quickly. Jobless claims explode higher after a BLS revision, Bureau of Labor Statistics revision. Tech layoffs are on a 2001 pace, and so if we look at the COVID spike here, we can see the new spike being created. This is very bad news. Let's take a look here. And this one really gets me even more. This one here is more potentially small businesses are filing for bankruptcy at a record pace, surpassing the COVID crash. Now that's what gets me, because you remember in COVID they were putting so many of these small businesses out of business because of their COVID lockdowns and things. They were the small businesses just couldn't go for month after month of having their business closed. It lasted like 6 months, and they couldn't, restaurants and bars and everything, they couldn't bring anybody in. And I don't know how they survived, but it was tremendous the amount of them that went under. And it says that this small businesses now are filing for bankruptcy at a record pace, surpassing the COVID crash. This can't be good, guys. Really, seriously. Now, and the next story is the protests in France are certainly not over, far from being over. French pension protesters right now are storming the Paris BlackRock headquarters. Fires are breaking out, happening right now this morning. It says railway workers have taken over BlackRock's headquarters in Paris. Breaking news. BlackRock Paris headquarters has now been taken by French protesters. They're the world's largest asset manager, with 10 trillion in assets under management as of January 2022. It says the scenario is super chaos or super chaotic. There's pictures coming in right now across the wave from, across the internet from what's going on in Paris with the BlackRock headquarters. Protests again grip France. It says Macron is not backing down on these pension reforms. Now, we're going to move over and we're going to take a look here at this article. Now, this might be the only story. Now, I got good news. You guys, I'm giving you the bad news first. I got a little bit of good news here about Ukraine. We might be starting to drift toward the first initial signs that I've seen that looked anyway good at all toward us drifting toward any sort of a peace talks. It says that the statements that were made by Ukraine, it says about these statements right here, it says the most explicit statement of Ukraine's interest in negotiations since the cutoff of the peace talks with the Kremlin last April. That's what's happening right now. So that might be good news, because that's what we all want to see. We all want to see an end to this. Now, moving on today, you guys saw the explosion right there. That blue line is the explosion in the price of silver that happened, almost 72 hours ago. And it just jumped suddenly, and not completely unexpectedly, because I expected it. Us on our channel here, we expected it. But, we're still in this deflationary spike event, what I call deflationary spike event, which has actually turned out to be more, I'm going to still call it a deflationary spike event, because the deflating part of it was these banks that went under. And it cost us $400 billion into the system that the Fed put on the books. It's basically like, it's almost like a bar tab. It works the same way. And it's the taxpayer's tab. And so the Fed is basically, put it on your tab. That's what they've done. Right? Now, how far can you go with that before the bar owner says, hey, you know what? You're not going to put anything more on your tab. So it's $400 billion that they just put on your tab. And that's what so-called cured. But that's deflation. Deflation within the banking system. So we're in this deflationary spike event. But how it's working in the general mainstream economy is we were getting up near 9% inflation on the CPI. And now the CPI has come back down a little bit. That's called disinflation. So we're experiencing disinflation during this deflationary spike event to a certain degree. But we're seeing this put it on your tab business, $400 billion, put it on your tab. We're seeing it reflected in the price of gold and silver because they're starting to know now that no matter how big the problem is, they're just going to put it on the taxpayer's tab. And at a certain point, they're going to shift over and start to monetize this debt. There's no choice in the matter. And that's when we're really going to see the silver and gold price explode. And you have no idea how much money is on the sidelines out there. And that's when it's just going to vaporize and disappear. And the price, when it's gone, the price is going to go up and everybody's going to want it. And the price is going to, that's when you're going to get your $3 days on silver and maybe multiple. You might see 2 weeks of $3 every day. Now, who's going to want to sell something like that when it's a cash cow? You don't want to sell something if you're holding it and you're getting $3 a day. It's going up in price. You're going to want to sell it for dollars that are losing value daily? No. So nobody's going to be selling any. See, there's a lot of silver in the world. But if nobody's selling it, then the only silver they got left is what's coming out of the mines. And industry wants most of that. So you see where we're going with all this, ultimately. Let's take a look at the price of cryptocurrency today. We're looking at Bitcoin at 27,950. And we're looking at Ethereum at 1869 today. So we've come down a little bit, just a little bit, because we were up into the 28s on Bitcoin, getting up near 30,000. I'd like to see it go past that 30,000. I'd like to see it double that. I'd like to see it go past 60,000, 90,000. But we might see that after we see the silver and gold disappear and they're going up daily like I just told you about. Then where are they going to put all of that excess liquidity that they're going to be creating when they start monetizing the debt? And that's the next step. Okay, guys. Taking a look at Yahoo Finance here today and taking a look at the Dow Jones. And we're at 82 points to the downside, 33,400. I had the S&P 500 on here someplace. Here's the S&P 500. 4,081. It's down 9 points on the day so far. Taking a look at okay, where is my crude oil? There it is, $80.48. We've seen the crude oil come up out of the 70s now, back into the 80s, and it's hanging on to $80. $80.48 today. It's down 13 cents on the day so far. And what do we got here? Bonds. Seeing a mixed bag in the bonds today. The long end's fallen marginally, just a small amount. And the middle is going up. We're up 1.8 basis points on the 1 year at 4.46. The U.S. 10 years at 3.28 and it's falling. It's fell almost a half a basis point. And the U.S. 30 years at 3.53 and it's fell 1.9 basis points. Now finishing off today, taking a look at the dollar index, the dollar index is going along sideways today at 101.99. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. And you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.